anyone points a gun in that direction, as a man, I'm not sure what I would do. It is quite confusing to know what to do exactly. But the gentleman who pointed that gun in that skate is right here with us, Mr. Victor Nwogo. We know him as Nkubi, is an honor personality as well as an actor. Mr. Nkubi, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Did you pull the trigger?
Did you? What were you trying to do with that guy?
I was only being given an instruction, so I followed the instruction.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Now, let's walk through some of your journey. A lot of people have seen you, either heard you watch you on TV or heard you on radio, seen you in skits and in movies. You're literally everywhere. You've broken all the stereotypes, breaking barriers and boundaries. But it didn't just happen. Because there are people like you who may be given excuses, but you have reinvented yourself and you're now a model in that space. Talk to us about that.
Well, I think the whole process, the whole journey started from as a little boy, of course. One very funny thing I usually do is I get inspired by what I see on TV. Looking up to a lot of actors. And so I'll stand in front of a mirror, surround them, reenact some of these things. So I got so used to it, and it gets me excited. So I just made it a passion that, look, I think this is the direction I might want to follow. So, which eventually, even before I entered the university, I've had a journey through acting as well. I featured in 1 or 2 stuffs. So eventually I went to the university to study theater arts. And which of course, after my university, so far this is the journey, this is where I found myself.
So I know that the big question a lot of people would like to ask you, because you've proven that being diminutive in size has nothing to do with attaining your dream as a person. Tell us how you were able to break that stereotype, look away from all the things that have been targeted at you. I'm sure people have targeted you, looked down on you, concluded about you. How did you walk yourself out of that space and now you've earned your respect?
Okay, I think the first point of call is growing up. I think my parents actually were more like the driving force for me, because they gave me the right morals, the right directions. They inspired me, if I would rather use that word. They inspired me, gave me every reason to believe in myself, first thing first. And I think that was the driving point. And the society I grew up in, Mafuluku Ushudi, I appreciate such neighborhood. I was born there, I grew up there. A very tough environment where words are being thrown at you, random words are being thrown at you, and you can just if you're soft, of course it could get you emotional. But because of the kind of individuals we are, yes, accept it, take it, rebuild it, give it back to them. So it made me stronger, and then from there I had a lot of inspiring people around me, because one thing I actually defined for myself is moving around with people who would rather add value to my life rather than the otherwise. Yeah. So I had a lot of inspiring people around me, friends, people I refer to as uncles, aunties. So these individuals also helped reshape the person I am, and which of course has led to me standing out and believing in myself. So I looked at it that, okay, the journey of me being a little person does not really count here. It is about what I can offer. So those are just my strong points. Those are just the major things that keeps me going.
Well, Kade, I really don't want to go next. Or if you want me to go next, I will.
Oh, I could go. I'm excited to jump in, really.
I will. Mr. Nkubi, I'm sure you get this question all the time, but that's the question I'm going to ask you. How did you find the confidence to talk to your wife?
There you go, straight up, bullseye.
That's why, okay.
Well, so the thing is, still referring to the society, the neighborhood where I grew up, because each time I talk about myself, I always make references to where I grew up. Yes, okay. Because, when big uncles around you will refer you, go and call that auntie for us. Just like auntie, that brother they call you. So, subconsciously, it is putting something in my head that, of course, I can walk up to any lady. So how it all started, she reached out to me on a social media platform, Facebook, and just on a friendly thing. I started off as friends, chatting, and from there, the social media friendship lasted for a couple of months. And even before then, we had a few. We've met. Then at some point, I now looked at it. She has a very good personality. She's hardworking. She has this good sense of humor. Why not just pop the question to her? Look, I like you, Auntie. How far? She may if you run things. So, and that was just it. And she said she was going to think about it. So thinking about it has given birth to where we are today.
Beautiful.
And she's beautiful.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
You know what? I'm enjoying this love story. It's really beautiful to watch.
I would
watch
like
you
to
a lot.
I wish they came together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I watch you a lot on social media with her, some of your moments. But let's watch some of the other work you've done. I mean, you're a brilliant person, versatile. So let's just have a little feel of some of your work, and then we'll come back to continue this conversation.
Bros, good afternoon.
I beg, give me your water there, beg. One back.
Okay. Bros, na 250 now. They pay 200.
Which one be 250 now? No, 200. Look, call your wife, I beg. Now today first they will buy. Now 200 I buy. I'm there. Which one be 250 again? Which one? Waiting they worry you.
Honey, I'm gonna bag up your water. Okay. Bros, na 300 now.
300?
Na 300.
Oh, na 250. Tell me now. Bring him.
Now I'll get it. Bros, I wait my phone.
Hold on. No back call that call.
My phone. I want to pick my cup.
Hold on, Daddy. Give me the water. Don't.
Oh yeah, take. They go. Your wife they call me. Hello, honey. 400. Okay, na 400. 400. Okay.
Beautiful. And this is a reaction we have watching you. And I'd just like to say thank you. For making us smile through the tough times, for giving us a reason to laugh. You don't know how much your work has actually impacted people. I think comedians particularly should get some national honor separately, because even though times are hard, when they're good, they always deliver in spite of what they're going through. And the essence of this conversation is also to challenge some stereotypes, to break all of those unnecessary biases that people have and bring this to people and show that you're doing great stuff. But for the benefit of people who may not understand where you're coming from, I'd like you to speak particularly about your situation. Is this biology? Some people think, oh, you didn't eat well while growing up and all of that. Because you're a brilliant person, I know you've done research into that. So let's educate people who may not know better, which is, again, also the essence of this conversation.
Okay, biology will clearly state it as a genetic issue. But then genetic also refers to genetic could also refer to maybe somebody from your family has something close to this or something related to this. But for me personally, sometimes I still question that genetics, because this is one. There's no trace of a little person in my family. I asked questions.
Really?
Yes, from both my maternal side and my paternal side. I asked questions. However, had there ever been a time where maybe there's a story about a trace of a little person in the family? The answer has always been no. No, rather. So I personally settled for this. I usually settle for this. Like, look, maybe somewhere along the line, biology must have had its own twist in the course of my process that has given birth to a little person. You understand? So, but still, generally accepted, they will tell you that it is genetics. And that is what it is. Let's just hold on to what science says, rather than me giving my own opinion.
But what is the appropriate term, again, because I like to deal with this when people address you. People use different terms. I mean, I like the way you handle these things. Even on your handle, you say small stout, and stuff like that. But what is the appropriate term? Because there are a lot of terms, I don't even want to mention them, but what is the appropriate term to use?
Okay, okay, fine. I would rather, let me say, dwarf remains dwarf. You understand? Dwarf remains dwarf. They were being referred to as dwarfs. But a particular society, like the Western society, will tell you, look, such name is diminishing. Don't refer us as dwarfs. Call us little people. But in the long run, look, we are in a very tough society where people would not want to stick with these opinions. Yeah. They would always want to refer you based on the term or the general acceptable terms, which is dwarf. So I don't have an issue with you referring me as, okay, that dwarf. You understand? One could relate. Or that little person. And if in a case where you know my name, call me by my name. So that for me, I don't have an issue with you referring to me as dwarf, little person, or my name. I think that is personally, that is what I want to stick with. Because if we now start looking at, or rather start debating on the right name to call, that might be an issue. You understand? That might be an issue. So we're not going to probably end the argument today. So let us just stick with you calling me a little person, a dwarf, or call me by my name.
Your name.
Let's talk about your role in movies and all of that. How easy it is. Is it quite easy for you to
I'm
get...
not controlling this.
It's okay.
Is it easy for you to get roles? And do you feel that sometimes when they see you as Nkubi, of course, Nkubi is a celebrity. Let's be clear on that first and foremost. So for those who don't know, he's a celebrity. So do they see you like, okay, let's just give Nkubi this role at the end of the day, not what Nkubi really wants, or you say, look, I can do this despite whatever. How do you walk around that situation?
Okay, prior before this period, the era of social media, I mean, over time, little people have always been given given roles that are rather diminishing, roles that don't really tell true stories about them, or perhaps that don't really define who they are. Roles that rather give a wrong impression about this nature, rather than what we should think about this nature. Okay, fine. You might end up being offered roles such as a bush baby, it is called in Yoruba.
Yeah.
A very wicked herbalist. You understand, things like this. And for me, I made it a point of God that look, I don't intend settling for this. Yes, I don't intend settling for roles like this because one, it is not going to add any value to my nature, and there's an existing belief about who we are in the society, and this belief is not even right in the first place. The beliefs are negative most times. So me taking up such roles will rather give an impression to the viewers watching it that look, we have said it. These people, this is what they truly represent. You understand? So over time, social media came up, and I think that was more like an opening door for us, because it gave room for every individual to showcase what you can offer. I mean, it is more like you define your ground, define your goals, set your targets, tell people who you are. And that is how, I mean, someone like me have been able to at least explore for people to see. But that still does not take away the fact that still in the movie industry, a couple of people still settle for these roles I just mentioned. But outside that, there are a couple of other movie makers who have also moved away from that niche into realities, into stating the fact that, okay, this person, at least we've seen a couple of them in the society, and this is the life they live. Okay, why not just assign this role to him, which are acceptable roles? So some of them have been able to move away from that niche into accepting and giving normal, regular roles to little people. And I believe it's a gradual step. We are gradually moving on, and in the long run, I believe it will get better.
Yeah, because I asked that question, because I asked you a question. If you watch Game of Thrones, one of the star guy, what's that his name?
Peter Dinklage.
Amazing. What's that his character?
Tyrion Lannister.
Tyrion Lannister. He killed it. So I think they should go beyond all of that. That's why I asked that question.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong in relation to Jeffrey's question. And I know that there is a community of, since you don't mind being called little people, a community of little artists who are active in the Nollywood industry. So are you at that level advocating for auditions to be thrown open, such that when there are auditions for big projects, the auditions are not limited to normal people? Little people can also be accepted, to participate and, demonstrate their ability to play those roles.
This is what I usually say to when issues like this come up. Look, we live in a society where, we live in a world dominated by average heights. So virtually everything you see around you will happen within happen within average height individuals. We are conspicuous, no doubt. Yes, we might just walk into this place and you'll spot us so easily in the midst of average height people. I can relate to that, but we don't define what people write.
Okay.
We can't tell them what to write. I mean, it is only based on you using your initiative to say, okay, let me include this. And I would also not want to push for a regular, for every movie maker to say, okay, we must include a little person in our project. It does not work that way. It will become monotonous. You understand? So I always allow people, do your thing. Do your thing, but at least for areas where a little person will be featured, make sure the role defines the true character of this individual rather than the otherwise.
Oh.
You understand? So this is usually what I push for.
If you could rewrite your story in any way, would you change anything? If you would, what would you change?
Oh God. I'm a realist. I will say I'm a realist. Okay, fine. Okay, I've accepted my fate today as a little person. But if reincarnation does exist, in my next world, I don't want to appear this way. I'll be very sincere with you guys. Let me have a taste of what average height looks like. Okay. You understand? But I appreciate the nature I find myself, no doubt. And I'm not God, but I appreciate the at least I've been able to use it well. So, but if reincarnation does exist, I'll say, okay, let me have a taste of what average height people do have.
6 feet?
I don't, maybe, it doesn't really matter as long as I'm tall. So as long as I'm tall, just add it ahead. So that is just what I might want to rewrite. But everything that must have happened in my life, it is something I would still want to, appreciate.
Particularly your wife.
My wife, definitely, yes. Especially at least have as part of my next world. So that's just it.
Amazing. We're super excited to have this conversation because you've broken the stereotype. Look at Peter as well as what's his name, Tyron now in the movie. You don't look at him as a little man. When you look at the excellence he brings to the table, which is what you're doing in this space, and we hope that story writers and script writers will be able to look beyond what you say you talked about. Look, just give me the script, let me interpret this story. Don't stereotype me and put me in a box. But we must thank you, Mr. Victor Nwagu, popularly known as Nkubi, on a personality actor. Thank you so much for gracing the show.
Thank you.
We're super delighted to have you. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, well, that's the very first for the week is a Monday. And I will end from where we started. We hope that in the next few days or hours, we'll hear the good news that those children have been released from the abductors. That's exactly what we're looking forward to. But we must thank you for being part of the show. Thank you for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Uzongo.
Well, no matter where you are, no matter the circumstances you find yourself, remember that you can rise above them and make the best of it. And speaking of which, do that this week. Join us again tomorrow when we'll bring you another bumper package. I am Bukola Koka. And
if you need something to cheer you up in this very difficult times, just go Nkubi_official on Instagram across board. If you want to have a good laugh, I promise you will have a good laugh. I'm Kayode Kikili. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.